ready. The nation is ready, and especially Reynolds Coliseum is ready to explode.
125, and the semifinals carry some extra clout in this weight because keep in mind the ACC only gets 2 automatic qualifiers at this weight. Jarrett Trombleey emerging from the NC State corner. Here comes Colton Camacho, the redshirt junior for Pitt. And these two were involved in a wild matchup the first time they met during the dual season. Trombleey came out on top 10-8. We'll see if it's high scoring again as we are underway.
And that match that Trombleey had, he said it, and I believe that was his best match this year. He looked great against Colton Camacho. But Colton Camacho, he's dangerous. He will explode early. The question is, can he keep the intensity up for a whole 7 minutes?
Camacho was able to get to his offense earlier today, put up 12 in the win against Patrick McCormick, but it is Trombleey who gets to the offense on this occasion and a 2-0 lead.
That was emphatic. Slid by the head, popped the hips, and came down for a nice takedown.
Real good year for Trombleey, who has not lost in ACC action. 4-0. He did not wrestle the final weekend against UNC. 2-time NCAA qualifier, but both times it was at 133, and now here he is at 125. Camacho trying to hit a roll underneath. He's close to popping out the back door, trying to split the legs. Trombleey stays latched on to the left ankle. Little cartwheel motion. Look at this ferocity up top by Trombleey just to stay latched on, right?
This is what you want to see at 125 going through it. And this is here was, looks like there was overs by Camacho, slid through, popped the hips, and came down for a nice takedown. Trombleey said that he feels stronger at 125 than he did at 133. And with that first takedown, I tend to believe him.
This is Jarrett Trombley's 3rd ACC championship appearance, but first at 125. He won a couple of ACC matches in 2020. He went 1-2 in 2021.
What you're seeing, you can see Coach Hall in the corner. It's something that NC State must have worked on. They go immediately to the thigh pride, and then once they go to the thigh pride, they go to grabbing an ankle or something. Good follow by Camacho. Trombleey is trying to stay up. Good adjustments.
Couple of pretty good bursts of energy underneath by Camacho, and both times Trombleey has certainly rang the bell and met the challenge. Continues to ride halfway through this first period.
You know what we said earlier in the last session was that having that first smash to get out of your system is generally good for the wrestlers. However, when you have someone like Trombleey who's cutting a good amount of weight, he's had 4 hours since he's been on the scale. So he's had more time to recover as opposed to just 2 hours off the scale.
Trombleey started this season 0-3. He told us in a conversation earlier this year he had hit really the lowest of lows. Team had a couple of weeks before the Keen as Camacho gets his point. He spent that time really dialing in on what he needs to do. New Orleans was a key run for him. Overcame a little blimp on the radar in January, and now he enters these ACCs wrestling really well, very confident. 2-1 lead, first period, 40 seconds to go.
One of the things he's got to continue to do, Trombleey that is keep the pressure on. And the reason for this is because Colton Camacho, once again, good follow, good moving. Good moving by Colton Camacho to follow there. We got a nice 25 semifinals here. There was just lots of motion and motion and motion. So here it is. There's a shot, spin, follow, keep going, hustle. Only control is established when the official says someone's in control. Not when we think they're in control. It's when the officials say they're in control.
First time now for Camacho to ride. Let's see if he can finish on top in this first period. Approaching short time wrestling, 15 seconds to go. Goes down in the lower half just as the officials started to count. Maneuvers his way back up the body. Getting right out Trombleey and go into the second period with a lead. Hand fighting by Trombleey. Now Trombleey turns. Still control established for Camacho, and he's going to contain him. And a good job there by Camacho when it was real close.
Too late to throw the brick. It's too late to throw the brick. You can't throw the brick now. Can't throw the brick now. Can't throw the brick now. That was a late brick. That was a late brick.
Coach Hall throwing the brick from the NC State corner, and they are going to go over to the monitor and take a review of this.
So here's the thing. The question is, it's an independent reviewer. You see the gentleman in the blue suit, Gary Kessel, he's the independent reviewer. Many times officials are doing the nationals. So the question is, was control lost, which is a judgment call. Now, in that position right there, the independent reviewer is looking. In that position right there, if we can see the replay, I thought that control was lost. I thought that in a position, from where I saw, it looked like Trombleey's head was not underneath. If his head was underneath and still covered, then I would say yes. But in that position, I thought that control. So here it is. So there's going to be lots of scrambling, and then you're going to see Camacho in the black singlet there. So the head being outside there, I believe that's lost control. That's loss of control. At that point, that'd be one neutral loss of control. Because at that point, he was looking to finish the single. If his head was stuffed underneath, you would say no, he was not out of a dangerous position. At that point, with the single, head to the side right there, I believe that's a loss of control.
As they take a look at it, take us through the review process, as you talked about, with the independent review and completely different vantage points from what we're watching here.
Completely different. The reviewer, it's good to have an outside reviewer because they don't really care. It's not like it's my call and I want to make sure I'm good here. So what they're looking at, let me review at this point, and he's going to bring him over. So at this point, I see a cross out here, he stepped out. Now the head is there. Head is there. The question is, when did time happen? So the question is, when was control lost, or was it time still in? From where I saw it, I really thought if the head was covered and it was underneath, then yes. But he was to the outside, and then it came to there. So let's see what the call is. One loss of control. Getting ready for the Nationals.
So they will get the scores situated. This will also impact a little bit of the riding time as well, because they went into that period break with the assumption that Camacho had maintained the control. So they will readjust the riding time. They'll let the final couple of seconds go off the clock, and we're tied at 3.
Here's the thing I was surprised about. You get 3 challenges per team. I was surprised that the official let that brick go, because it was long after they had already talked about the decision, but it's the judgment of the official if they're going to let that brick be something to look at.
So after a lengthy delay, we go back to action.
And a quick reversal.
Oh, these two are going at it. Trombleey with the reversal. They have not awarded it yet on the tower clocks. So we're going to have another stoppage to get the points situated as you take a second look at it.
He easily could have just pushed him out, but let's make a statement. I'm not going to let you go easy. And that's what Trombleey let Camacho know. You have to work to get out.
Minute 9 of riding time, and that will increase. Camacho's so good on those rolls, and we saw him pop 3 earlier on one of the exchanges, but not this time. Trombleey makes the adjustment, drapes over the right side of the body.
Trombleey is doing a really good job of riding. He's loose, but he's also tight. He's just accumulating riding time, looking pretty darn tough on top. got the leg in. At one point, it looked like Camacho was going to throw the leg out. But Trombleey's doing a good job. And this is where NC State is pretty good. They like to do a high thigh ride, meaning right above the knee and lifting it up and then go to an armbar series.
Working off the right arm of Camacho underneath. Well over 2 minutes of riding time, 38 seconds remaining, second period. Looks like Trombleey has taken some of the starch from Camacho, mainly because of that leg being in there.
And this is where Camacho has historically worn down. And there's back points.
Real patient setup there by Trombleey to eventually get to the path that he wanted with the 4 coming his way.
This is pretty substantial here. So now it goes from we need to win to get to the finals. Hey, think about bonus points at this point. So at this point, he just kind of cross-face and starts to get the full allotment. 4 swipes, 4 points. So Camacho chooses bottom. Now here's a question. How much time does Trumbull try to get another turn?
Camacho nearly put himself in some trouble, but boy, he just continues to scramble here. Trombleey loses control of his leg, and Camacho is away and automatically right back on the hunt. Colton Camacho with some work to do, trailing by 5.
Riding time is secured. It's 10-4. They want bonus points. When I say they, NC State wants bonus points. So they want to work hard for a takedown and a ride out. And certainly Pitt, being in the title race, they want to make sure, hey, I want to win. But if I can't win, I cannot allow Trombleey to get bonus points, winning by at least 8 points or more.
Colton Camacho out of Franklin Regional High School. He was on the same team as Spencer Lee of Iowa. Into the double unders near the edge. Camacho trying to find an opportunity. Pummels down the head. He'll try to work not a lot of real estate. So what's Trombleey do? Wisely and smartly, he just shoots in on the leg.
Yep. And that shot is to eat clock. At this point, he's just going to hold here. He's holding really with one arm at this point. At this point, Colton Camacho has to try and do something big. A takedown and near fall is not going to do it.
Colton Camacho had a tough go at the start just because of the guys he was wrestling with inside that pit room. Trying to find a trip opportunity. Stall call to Trombleey. He's okay with that as the 2 wrestlers go out of bounds. But it was just tough for Camacho to find points when you were wrestling with Luke Pletcher and Cole Matthews, Mickey Philippi. So as a result, a big reason for some of his improvement this year, Gavin brought in some guys in the lightweights that Camacho could train with and get some confidence offensively.
At this point, he's just going to hang out here. When I say hang out, he's not going to try and do anything foolish. Trombleey at 125, starting things for NC State in the semifinal round with a win, 10-5. NC State's first finalist in the 2023 ACC Championships. Trombleey sucking down for 133 to 125 this year and getting himself into the finals.